So we are reviewing how to graph these lines. What form is this line in? Slope-intercept, which is y equals what? Y equals mx plus b. And what does the m stand for? Slope. Which we also say is the what over what? The rise over the run. And what is the b? The y-intercept. So here we have y equals mx plus b. What is my b? -2. So that is going to be my first point on the graph is -2. Where do I go from there? Up 7 over 2. And then you can just connect those 2 points. Number 2. So y equals mx plus b. What is my b? 3. And then where do I go from there? Down 6 over 1. What kind of special equation is number 3? It has no x, so it's hoi. It's a horizontal line. So it's a horizontal line at y equals -5. So I put my point down here at -5. And it's going to go across. Number 4, what point do I plot first? 1. Then where do I go? Up 6 over 5. Well, I'm going to be off the graph if I do that. So instead of going up 6 over 5, I'm going to do the exact opposite, and I'm going to go down 6 and backwards 5. So it's still the same thing. It's just exactly opposite. Number 5. What is the first point that you graph? +2. Then where do you go? Up 1 over 4. Number 6. What kind of special line is this? It's a Vox because it doesn't have a Y. It just has an X, so that makes it vertical. And it crosses where? The x-axis at 5. So it's going to be a vertical line at x equals 5. Alright, on the back, go ahead and do 7 through 12. And then where do you go from there? Up 5 over 3. So because nothing was being added or subtracted here, the intercept was 0. For number 8, what kind of line is that? Vox. It's a vertical line. So where does it cross? At x equals 0, and it's a vertical line, so it's basically the what? The y-axis. Number 9, what is the intercept? 3. And where do you go from there? Down 1, it's negative, over 3. Number 10, what is the intercept? -4. What is the slope? Up 1 over 5. Number 11, what's the intercept? -2. What is the slope? Up 1 over 2. Number 12, what's the intercept? 5. What is the slope? Up 2 over 1, but I can't do that, so down 2 and backwards 1. Any questions on graphing lines and slope-intercept form? Everyone needs to be able to do that. Alright, now we're going to look at standard form. The problem is that in standard form we've looked at before, we've done the cover-up method. The cover-up method is not going to work for these. No, if I cover up y, what is my x?
7 over 5.
Okay, so how do you graph that? You can't graph the point 7/5, 5/7. So we are going to do a little bit of algebra here. We need to get y by itself. How do I get y by itself? Subtract 7x from both sides. So y equals negative 7x plus 5. So what is my intercept? 5. What is my slope? Negative 7. So down 7 over 1. Alright, number 2. Again, the cover-up method is not going to work here. So I need to solve it algebraically. What is the first step I'm going to take? Subtract 3x from both sides. Make sure you're keeping these signs together. The negative stays with the 3x. This negative stays with the 5. So I'm left with 5y equals negative 3x minus 5. Then what do I do? Divide by 5. Because I want y by itself. So y equals negative 3/5 x minus 1. So what is my intercept? Negative 1. And then where do I go from there? Down 3 over 5.
Yeah.
Number 3. What kind of graph is number 3?
Point.
Point. It does not have an x. It is horizontal. Where does it cross? Y equals 4. Number 4. We need to solve this one algebraically. So what do I need to do to both sides? Subtract 6x. So I'm left with 5y equals, I keep the negative, I subtracted 6x, so I keep the negative with the 6, so it's minus 6x plus 20. And I'm putting the 6x in front because it's y equals mx plus b. And then what do I do next? Divide by 5. So y equals negative 6 over 5x plus 4. What is the intercept? 4. And then where do I go from there?
Down 6 over 5.
Down 6 over 5. Number 5. What kind of line is that? Vux. Where does it cross? X is negative 3. And then number 6. We need to solve this one algebraically.
No, you don't. But you can just cover up for that one.
Okay, so what's the y-intercept?
4.
4. What's the x-intercept?
2.
2.
See? Yeah, you guys said it wouldn't work. Losers.
For number 7, which method did you use? Did you solve it algebraically or did you do the cover-up?
Cover up.
So it does not matter which one you did. You should get the same exact thing on your graph. What is the y-intercept?
3.
What is the x-intercept? 3. So your graph should look like that. Number 8, you had to solve that one algebraically. So we have 10x minus 3y equals 15. What do I do first? Subtract 10x. So you have negative 3y equals negative 10x plus 15. And then what do?
Divide by 3.
Divide by negative 3. So y equals positive 10 over 3x minus 5. What is the intercept? Negative 5. And where do I go from there? Up 10 over 3. Number 9, what is the x-intercept? Positive 3. What is the y-intercept? Negative 3. Number 10, what kind of line is that? Point. And it goes over what? The x-axis. It is the x-axis. Number 11, what was the y-intercept? Negative 3. What is the x-intercept? Negative 3. Number 12, what was the y-intercept? Negative 1. What is the x-intercept? Negative 1. So a system of linear equations is two or more linear equations that use the same variables. The solution to a system of linear equations is the ordered pair that makes all of the equations in the system true. So use the graph to graph both of these. So y equals 1/2 x plus 3. What am I going to graph first? 3. Then where am I going to go? Up 1 over 2. And we talked about this yesterday. With these, it is best to keep going. So keep going up 1 over 2 over and over again until you run out of graph. And I would go backwards too, down 1 and backwards 2, to make sure that you get all of the points that are supposed to be on this line. Even if you have a ruler, it is still difficult to make the points line up exactly. So make sure you're using all of the dots.
Yeah.
Y equals 2x. What is the intercept?
2x.
0.
Oh, wait. Oh.
What is the slope?
2x.
2.
2.
Up 2 over 1.
I found it.
So keep going up 2 over 1. So where do those two lines cross?
2, 4.
At 2, 4. So that is the solution to this system of equations. To check this, you can plug this point back in. So y equals 1/2 x plus 3. We had y equals 2x. So I plug in 2 for x on both of these and 4 for y on both of these. So that would be 4 equals 1/2 times 2 plus 3. So 1/2 times 2 is 1. Plus 3 is 4. So that is correct. Plug in 4 equals 2 times 2. So 4 equals 4. And that is also correct.
Yes.
So since it works in both of these, that is correct. That is the place that it crossed. So in your own words at the bottom, describe how to find the solution of a system of equations by graphing it. Write in your own words how to find the solution of a system by graphing it in the box for number 2.
There.
All right, number 3 on the back. We are graphing both and finding where they intersect. So for y equals negative 1/2 x plus 3, what do I graph first? 3. Then where do I go? Down 1 over 2. So keep doing that. Make sure you get all of the points that you can. And then go backwards and do the same thing. And then you have y equals 5. What is that going to be? Hoi. Horizontal at 5. So we're just going to have a horizontal line at 5. So where do those two lines intersect? Negative 4 or 5. I'm leaving the check up to you. If you want to go back and check it algebraically, you can. If you don't, you don't have to for this set. Number 4, y equals 1/3 x minus 2. What's the first point that I plot? Negative 2. And then where do I go? Up 1/3 repeatedly. For the second line, what's my intercept? There's a positive 2. Where does my slope go? Down 1/1. So where do those two lines intersect? 3, negative 1. No. Alright, do 5 and 6 on your own. Alright, for number 5, can you use the cover-up method? No. So I needed to solve the first one algebraically. So what did I need to do to both sides? Add 6x to both sides. It's negative. So I add. So I get 2y equals 6x minus 8. And then what do? Divide everything by 2. So y equals 3x minus 4. So what is my intercept? Negative 4. And then where do I go from there? Up 3/1. And for the second one, what's the intercept? 6. And then where do I go from there? Down 2/1. So where do they cross? At 2, 2. Number 6. Can I do the cover-up method? Yes. So cover up x. What is my y-intercept? Everybody should have this done by now. Put your heads up. Put your heads up. Put your heads up. What is the y-intercept? Negative 1. If you cover up x, you get 4y equals negative 4. Divide both sides by 4, so that would be negative 1. And even if you solved it algebraically, you still should have gotten negative 1.
Yeah.
You did it wrong. Cover up y. What is the x-intercept? Positive 4. So that is a slope of up 1/4.
Yeah.
For the second one, what is the intercept? Negative 2. And then what is the slope? Up 1/2. So where do they cross? 4, 0. Parking garage A charges $3 per hour for parking. Parking garage B charges a fee of $2 plus $2 per hour for parking. Write an equation for each one. So for garage A, what would that be? Y equals 3x. It's just $3 times the amount of hours you're in there. What about garage B? Y equals 2x plus 2. It's a $2 flat fee plus $2 per hour. And we need to graph each one. So for garage A, what is the intercept? 0. What is the slope? Up 3 over 1. Will I have negative numbers on this one? No, because this is talking about money and time. So I'm only going to stay in the first quadrant. And then for garage B, what is the intercept? 2. What is the slope? Up 2 over 1. What is the solution to this system? 2, 6. And what does that mean in the context of the situation? So for both of them, if you spend 2 hours in the parking garage, it only costs you $6. That's the only time that it costs the same price. So if you park for 2 hours, it costs the same amount in both garages. All right, we are going to skip this page, go on to the page that says Solving Systems by Graphing Part 2. If the solution to a system of equations on the graph is the point of intersection, then brainstorm and answer the following. Is it possible for a system to have no solution?
Yes.
Yes. How so?
They don't touch.
Right. They never cross. If the lines never cross, they would have no solution. Is it possible for them to have infinitely many solutions?
Yeah.
How so?
They're the same line.
If it's the same line. Sean, are you writing this on your paper?
Yeah. No. Let it go.
Ahmed, are you writing this on your paper?
Yeah.
It's recorded in history for all of time to tell that you were lying to me.
What do you mean it's recorded in history?
I'm recording right now, and you're telling me no. Yes, when you mean no.
I said yeah. It's right here. No touching. Huh? All of it. All you wrote is no touching.
Alright, so just like yesterday, what we were talking about, there's 3 different types of solutions you can have. You can have the one solution, which is just when they cross once. That is when they have different slopes. You can have no solution, which is when they have the same slope, but different y-intercepts. That means they're parallel. Then you can have infinitely many solutions. That means they have the same slope and the same y-intercept because they are the same line. So at the bottom, solve each one by graphing. Y equals 2x minus 3. What is the intercept? Negative 3. What is the slope? Up 2 over 1. And then for the second line, can I do that with the cover-up method? No. So I need to do it algebraically. So what do I need to do first? Add 4x to both sides. So 2y equals 4x plus 2, and then what do I do? Divide by 2. So y equals 2x plus 1. What is my intercept? 1. What is my slope?
2.
Up 2 over 1.
Why can't you do the compound method?
Because you would have gotten 1/2 for your intercept.
Oh, okay.
So does this have a solution? Why not? They will never cross. They have the same slope. There's no way that they can ever cross each other. They're parallel.
What do you mean they would go 1/2? 2 divided by 2 is what?
If you cover up y, what is the x-intercept?
2.
1/2.
4 divided by 2.
2 divided by 4.
Huh?
If you solve negative 4x equals 2, you would have to divide both sides by negative 4, which would be negative 1/2.
Oh.
Thank you. Number 2, what is the intercept? 4. And what is the slope? Down 1 over 2. And for the second equation, I can do the cover-up method. What is the y-intercept? 4. What is the x-intercept? 8. So what does that end up being? Infinitely many solutions. It's the same line. Copy this on your paper.